like, the most freeing thing about this recovery is that I don't have to do anything I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I get to do it. I choose to do it. And I think that this is the unfortunate thing, or whatever, when someone's struggling with the idea if they want to do it or not. Because I think in the book, that's another big part. It's like when they talk about working with others, it's like, there's always this undertone, like it's serious business, but you need to make sure the person wants to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, it's like, okay, so 12 step is flawed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the perfect or whatever.
Yeah.
But for those that are wanting to do it and are wanting to do the work and they get past it, then the gift is that I can look back on it and say, oh, this is easy. This was, I made it difficult,
Yeah. Well, going back to the idea of the abstinence violation effect, the way it's usually experienced is like, it's, that guilt and shame and all of that stuff that follows. The part that gets really tricky is like, that's the way of kind of like punishment, like self-punishment. And that rather than see it as a slip, it's seen as something kind of like more universal or true. And so then a person's like, well, I blew it. I'm a fucking failure. Like, why am I even bothering? And then that just leads to like either a longer relapse or a return to use.
Also, something else is very different depending on how attractive you are.
What are you saying right now? What are you
and
saying
I don't mean
right
just
now?
Physical attraction. I'm talking about like if you have an attractive personality or whatever, and people like you a lot, they treat, like for me, there are some people that like I find if I'm not careful that I'm more tolerant of their slips or their.
Well, I mean, you're talking about that's something. I mean, it's related.
That's another conversation.
But that's a whole other. You're talking about like.
Let's put that in the parking lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about lookism, which is definitely something that is an issue that we have among gay men.
That's everybody has it, I bet.
Lookism. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it is, we do see it's universal. It's well documented. There's studies that show that like, if you're attractive, you're treated better, get paid better.
That's why I was nice to you when you relapsed.
Oh,
oh my goodness.
Come on. Yeah, come on over and sit over and sit on Daddy's lap.
Oh my God. God bless. God bless. Okay. So let's go. So the 4 myths are, first myth is Lewis is a safe person to be around.
Yes. Fact.
But the 4 myths are relapse equals total failure.
No, it's like that's a total myth.
Yeah, back to day one, no matter what. So the myth behind there being that like it's like you lost all of your recovery, you lost all the things you learned, which isn't true.
Yeah,
it's certainly not true in my case. When my last relapse saved my life.
Yeah.
My last relapse is it was the relapse that I needed for shit to like finally click. And I had several relapses, and that was the one. And I have the most time I've ever had. Because like the text says, like I conceded to my innermost self, right?
Absolutely.
That was the first, but I had 6 years of, I was a couple days shy of 6 years of recovery, and I went out, and so I had time, and I remember I had all this guilt, and I felt horrible about it for such a long time. But then looking back, I'm like, oh, what a blessing. I didn't lose that time. Like it just took me what it took me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, going back to the third myth, which is, you lose everything you learn.
No, you don't.
You don't lose everything you learn. And then the last one is it's proof you're not serious.
Whoa.
That's the last myth.
Oh my God.
That feels so true sometimes.
Well, let's hear it.
It's proof to who?
Oh, good. Love that question too.
Yeah.
Love that question too. Well, let's go.
Well, and then just like, okay, so in my personal experience, right, my recovery journey, I had started in recovery many years ago, and every 2 weeks I would relapse every 2 weeks. And finally I was like 30 days, every 30 days. And then it turned into 60, right? So I would come back from a relapse, and there was always somebody, are you done yet?
Yeah.
Are you done yet?
Yeah.
Or you want to keep going? Are you done? And it's just like, I don't know. Was it helpful? No, maybe more mad. I don't know if that's helpful. But like,
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think what you're speaking to are the cultural things, right? That's why I 12 step is not perfect. It's made up of people and people are imperfect. And yeah, that's one of those cultural things where like you hear it brought up and it's like, who is that helpful for? I'm sure in some conversation somewhere, maybe that was helpful, but why, who is that helpful for?
It's probably helpful for the person who says it because
maybe it's more about that.
I used to struggle in the beginning because when I came in, I thought once you come in, you stay in, and I created these things in my mind of reasons why I couldn't, and then all of a sudden, folks with time and whatever started relapsing, and it freaked me out, and I realized what it is like. The more uncomfortable I am, or the more I am not able to kind of show up in a way that is healthy, it has to do with my fear around relapse.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the person who's relapsing, has everything to do with me. And so, like I've talked about this before, there's a Monday night relapse prevention meeting, CMA. Sometimes I have to take a break because I need to make sure that I am not judging people or imposing my stuff onto someone else. This is their humanity. This is their experience. It's like, it does not mean they're not serious. It does not. And even if they aren't serious, it's not for me. Like, if I'm okay, then I'm focused on the shit in my hula hoop,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so maybe we can transition the conversation a little bit about like what relapses sometimes
Bonnie
look
Violet
like.
said you can't say that.
She did, and that was years ago. But where is she now?
Oh,
My goodness.
We miss you, Bonnie Violet. I feel like Bonnie Violet. I think Lewis set me up for that. And he's gonna make a soundbite of it, and it's gonna
be my ringtone.
Yeah. Where is she now? So there's some research by a scholar Melamis from 2015 that outlines relapse as happening in stages, right? So Melanie says there's an emotional relapse before there's a mental relapse.
Absolutely.
And then there's the physical relapse.
Right.
So you both are nodding. I'm curious what is it?
Well, no, just agree, because it's like the point that you pick up and use or whatever, it's kind of like it's too late. It's kind of like you've been sick all along and you go to ER and all they can do is make you comfortable. Bitch, once you pick up is because the plan was set in motion.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, there's a book I read in rehab called Staying Sober.
Okay.
Or old school, but it's saying like your relapse started way before you picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that can come about anything, right? Like,
yeah. And just to cite the paper, it's called Relapse Prevention and the 5 Rules of Recovery. Melamis, and the second author I think is Bile. So going back to this idea, yes, right. But we can also see it in behaviors, right? If I look at my own behavior, I started to remove myself from community. I wasn't keeping up with my commitments. I wasn't taking care of my health, right? Like I was starting to prioritize other things. Specifically in my case, I would prioritize hooking up or like meeting with guys and stuff like that. I know what I'm saying. Lewis just gave me a look. I'm in another program. So the relapse does happen ahead of time. My mom says, my grandmother says, oh my God, el peligro no viene sin aviso, which means that for our Latinos listeners. So basically what that means is that harm doesn't come without warning, right? And I think it's the same thing for relapse.
Yeah.
By the time, before a relapse happened, there was a lot of stuff happening beforehand. Yeah. Okay. So I'm wondering.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's the first half of this episode. We're gonna, if you want to hear more about relapse and the things that you don't hear about relapse, just listen to our next episode. We want you there. We want to hear you. We want to hear from you. So come back.
Yeah. So the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
We provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
And our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community opportunity and support.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
Come back now.
Yes, and tune in.
Y'all come back now.
New episodes are released every Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, definitely Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you soon. We love you. Bye.